All right, guys, today we're checking out the Qiolor Tiger RL. So this is the second Qiolor bike that we've reviewed on this channel. Very similar to the previous one, has a very retro feel to it. Moped-style fat tire e-bike, obviously. Now the bright glossy orange frame with the black colorway is just a really nice touch. And the rear rack and the pannier bag is also a pretty cool feature. We'll get into it. I think the colors on the Qiolor are just really unique. I really haven't seen other companies that use the different colors that they use for their frames. Obviously, fat tire moped-style e-bike is a very popular style. If I was looking for an alternative for like a Super 73, something like this is pretty decent. And I could already tell that just from the height of it, this is gonna be something that'll fit me pretty easily as a shorter rider. Anyway, let's walk through all the features. All right, so the first thing you'll notice are these 20x4-inch fat tires. Pretty standard for this style of e-bike. You got the all-terrain tread, integrated front fender, lots of Qiolor branding right here on the top. We do have a front suspension fork to absorb some shocks. Standard bright retro style headlight, hydraulic disc brakes. Up top we got the faux leather hand grips. You have your signal controls, so you do have a rear taillight back here with brake functionality, so it gets bright when you squeeze the brakes. And then you also have the left signal and the right signal. So a very cool feature for riding at night. You also got the horn button. Left mounted color LCD display, 5 levels of pedal assist, and then a right hand half twist throttle. I love how the bars are not cluttered. It's just simple, minimalist, clean. Now in terms of power, we do have a 48 volt, 13 amp hour battery. So this is kind of the signature style for a Qiolor, this kind of gas tank style battery. And then when you press the button up top here, you could see how much power you have. So blue, fully charged, green, medium charge, and then red would be low charge. Got the ribbed moped style saddle seat with the hump in the back. Here's a look at the hydraulic disc brakes in the rear. And then in terms of like the frame, it's just wide open. So just all this space over here, not cluttered with anything. You'll notice that the controller is mounted right under here, underneath the battery. So it's kind of hidden by this part of the frame, as well as this number plate right here. And this has a 750 watt rated, 1200 watt peak rear hub motor with a cadence sensor. So no Shimano derailleur, this is just a single speed, keeps things nice and simple. You also have a chain guard. Now this is the optional rear rack that you could get for this bike, for this model. So plenty of room here to add some cargo, maybe a milk crate, and you also have this pannier bag that goes on the right side of the bike. Comes with a security lock. You just, make your code, pop it open, and then plenty of storage inside of here to secure your belongings, in addition to whatever you want to pop on top over here. And you also have these quick release clamps. So if you squeeze these clamps and lift it off, you could just kind of take the bag with you instead of leaving it on the bike itself. And then when you want to put it back on, squeeze the clamps and then they lock on. That is actually a really cool feature, something I haven't really seen in a lot of bikes. This makes this bike just a really good commuter, in my opinion. And the total weight of the Qiolor Tiger RL is 87 pounds. That's actually not that heavy, but it isn't very light. And just the overall width and length of this bike means that you probably want some dedicated storage like a shed or a garage. But in terms of this class of e-bike, this is probably one of the lighter moped style fat tire e-bikes that we've reviewed in a while. Anyway, now that we've gone over all the features of the Qiolor Tiger RL, let's take it out for its first ride. Okay, first ride with the Qiolor Tiger RL or Tigre. Obviously, the thing that stands out with this brand is the customization. They have a lot of cool colors, very different from other manufacturers. This one is some kind of like fluorescent or super bright orange. One other plus is the pannier bag. Like I said, easy to remove. If you got to go somewhere, got your little bag right here, and then you buy your things, fill it up, and then snaps right on. Easy. All right, so here is what I look like sitting on the bike. Very, very comfortable. I like the stance here. I am kind of flat-footing it. Maybe I'm doing a little bit of tiptoeing, but not that much. So yeah, perfect if you're a short rider. Saddle seat feels really, really comfortable. You got the hump in the back, so I feel locked in, right? I don't feel like I'm sliding off. Okay, so we'll start at pedal assist level 1, no throttle, get right into it. Okay, so plenty of low-end power as soon as you start pedaling, right? But once you get going, very smooth. Definitely a cadence sensor on this thing. And it's not super powerful, right? It is kind of calibrated nice at this pedal assist level. Now it is a hardtail, so I am feeling all these little bumps in the road. No rear suspension, but the very comfortable saddle seat is absorbing some of those shocks. Fat tire is absorbing some of those shocks. Let's do pedal assist level 2 now. Okay, a little bit more power. I'm really leaning into these turns, right? Kind of really leaning my body into the turns, a little bit of counter steering. I love the wide handlebars. They feel right for this bike. It makes me feel like I'm just like on a cafe racer or cruiser, even though that's not really the style, but kind of reminds me of that. All right, pedal assist level 3. A little bit more power. No throttle, just pedaling. And yeah, super comfortable. I am, making sure that my cranks are not gonna touch the ground. I feel like the bike is so low that the pedals will scrape the ground if I turn too hard, right? So just keep that in mind, like when you do those sharp turns, keep your cranks level. All right, let's just bump it up to pedal assist level 5 now. Let's give it some throttle. Okay, so throttle is a little bit delayed, right? Let's try that again. So throttle, 1, 2, 3. So 3 seconds for the throttle to kick in. A little bit of a delay, not that big of a deal. I feel like the pedal assist has just a quicker response. But as long as you're modulating between the two, throttle, pedaling, very easy to get up to speed. No issue there. It is very bumpy though. Very bumpy on the hardtail. Full throttle, full pedal. Hitting only about 20 miles per hour here. And yeah, very nice. Now we are on power level 5, full throttle. Man, I love how smooth the control tune is on this thing. Very, very nice. Lots of power. Just super smooth pedal assist. I mean, kind of riding it around, 15 miles per hour is like the sweet spot. Once you get going, not a ton of stopping, just like cruising like this. So good. And just the stance on this bike, the wide bars, man, super fun. Just like a casual Sunday ride. Very nice. I guess we could try to do that hill, but let's just go around one more time. Yeah. Oh man, so smooth. Yeah, really, I just really like how the Qiolors are tuned, and I just like even the weight of the bike, because there's nothing I guess in the center of the frame. It just feels much lighter than it looks, to be honest. All right, we are going to do something very challenging. We're going to climb this hill without any suspension in the back. I don't think we're going to make it, but we could try. We can certainly try. Standing up, pedaling, full pedal, full power, and just barely getting up. Just barely getting up the hill. Holy cow. Oh my gosh, super bumpy. How I wish I had full suspension. Anyway, transition back onto the pavement. No problem. Yeah, this is definitely way better on the pavement. That feels really good. Whew. Probably have to head back. Let's go make a U-turn here. Yeah, not really an off-road bike, but it can do it. You need it to, but you know, the saddle seat and the fat tires are only going to do so much for you. They're only going to do so much for you. All right, let's head back. Let's stand up because it is just way too bumpy. And then we can try to go back up this hill again. Woo! All right, pedaling up the hill, and we can do it, but it's not comfortable. And if you have cargo, it is going to spill. Okay. All right, let's get back on the pavement here. Whew. That was a bumpy ride. Ladies and gentlemen, bumpy ride. All right, here we go. Woo. And this is where the bike belongs. Not on the off-road terrain, not on the grass, on the smooth pavement. Just cruising, just leaning into the curves.
So let's recap the technical specs. The Tiger RL is a moped-style fat tire e-bike built for all-terrain rides with a solid 87-pound frame. Its integrated front headlight, tail light with turn signals, and top-mounted tank battery give it a clean and practical setup. It has a single-speed drivetrain, right-hand half-twist throttle, and offers optional rear rack accessories for extra utility. With a 750-watt rated, 1,200-watt peak rear hub motor backed by a 48-volt, 13-amp-hour removable battery, and 25-amp controller, the Tiger RL pushes up to 20 miles per hour across 5 pedal assist modes. According to manufacturer specs, you'll get up to 40 miles of range on throttle only, or up to 70 miles with pedal assist on a single charge. This also depends on rider weight, terrain, and power level. Other features include hydraulic disc brakes, a ribbed moped-style saddle seat, and 20x4-inch all-terrain fat tires for comfort. It's simple, colorful, and built to cruise without clutter or complexity.
All right, first impressions with the Qiolor Tiger RL. Very, very fun little bike. If you're looking for a moped-style e-bike that isn't huge, that can actually fit a wide variety of riders, you know, definitely kids and short riders. This is kind of like the perfect size. If you're coming from Super 73, like an S2 or an RX, those are, you know, bigger bikes, a little bit higher. So if you want something that's kind of like that similar style, but just a little bit lowered, this is a great option. I think the styling is obviously, that's like my favorite part of this bike, just that bright fluorescent orange. Everything else is pretty standard for, you know, for Qiolor. The tune is decent. It's not something that's gonna go super fast, so this is probably good for beginners. And I just think the utility aspects of this bike is really where it shines. So you could load up the back over here. You could bring your pannier bag inside. You could also put a lock on it, which is good. The only thing is that comfort-wise, if you're not riding it exclusively on the streets, it's gonna be kind of uncomfortable because of the hardtail, right? There's no rear suspension. But yeah, even these little cracks in this parking lot, I was feeling each one. So just keep that in mind. This is really meant for pavement, smooth streets. The Qiolor Tiger RL, it's a solid recommend.